Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, collection review for Dominic, who's 25 and works as a civil engineer in Australia, seeking my advice on his watch collection. He says he's enjoying the reviews and keeps him entertained and allows him to think about his collection constantly. Don't we all do the same thing? Alright, his collection consists mainly in two watches, the Grand Seiko SBGW231, which he bought at the end of 2020 to celebrate two major milestones. A job out of university and a house. Yes, in Australia, a normal country, you can get a house out of university. Here in Hong Kong, you can only dream about it for forever. It's never going to happen. He says, he wanted to remember that year and pass it on one day. It is something of a high quality with great design that wouldn't really catch people's eyes. And this watch could be his one and only. He says originally he wanted a black dial OP36 because he has a rather slim wrist, or a Neo Vintage Explorer. But he decided to purchase those later, and but the prices went crazy. So he went for Plan B, and Grand Seiko is not a bad option. So that is his daily watch when he's at the office. Then he's got a Datejust reference 6605 from 1956 that came about unexpectedly through a friend of a friend who was selling it for about half the market price. You know, sometimes the best watches, they come that way. I quite like buying from friends, or just let the watches come to me, or just go on a hunt as well. It's always more fun. He thought he would flip it, but now he loves it. From the applied Rolex to the roulette date wheel, the pipe and dial, etc. He finds it has a lot of character and charm. He never planned to buy it, but it just came to him and wears it a lot. You know, sometimes that's the charm of the watches. Apart from that, he's got a Seiko Pre-Arnie. So you know that Seiko, you might have seen the video from TGV on the Urban Gentry channel about the Arnold Schwarzenegger watch that he wears in a few movies, I think in Predator and Commando. It came from his from Dominic's father, and he also has a 70s Tissot C-Star 7, some kind of a square shape, pretty cool, which was his first watch purchase when he was 18. He used to buy and sell a lot of watches on the flea markets when he was a teen, which was fun. Back then, you know, vintage was so cheap 7-8 years ago, as in comparison to now. Yes, indeed. You know, I remember 2 years ago, or 3 years ago maybe now, I went back home in my little village in Belgium, and there was a flea market, you know, every year or every few weeks there's a kind of a flea market there. And I went and I found the watch guy of the flea market, and he had, I think, a King Seiko, and he was asking a ridiculous price, I think like 3,000 euro. You know, the Chrono 24 type of price in a little village flea market. And I was like, oh man, yeah, the good old days are gone. You know, imagine sometimes I'm thinking, oh, why was I not into watches when I started working, making my first salaries? Anyway, he says he wear these two, the Arnie and the Tissot, every now and then, though he doesn't consider them as part of his core collection. You know, it's always fine to collect things, not necessarily wear them. You have to draw a line between collecting and wearing. It can meet, and sometimes it's hard for us to put those concepts together in our mind. Sometimes we feel like if we don't wear them, we shouldn't hold them. But that's the true collectors. You know, you have them for the beauty, not necessarily for wearing them. A bit like you have paintings. Just enjoy watching them. They're not as sturdy as he mentions, but they carry a lot of sentimental value, of course, and that too is very important. Alright, so Dominic says he wants to build up his collection from those two main watches to reach a quality 4-5 piece collection. He's in no rush, but he's thinking of a couple he may want to purchase in the next couple of years. Number one, Dominic says he needs a watch to do anything with, mostly for when he goes on site for construction. So he needs a solid, sturdy watch. Thinking of an Omega Speedmaster, maybe the first Omega in space. Well, they're quite sturdy, but I'm not sure I would take a chronograph on a construction site with the dust and everything in those pushers. The other one he's considering is the Tudor Black Bay 58. Yes, I wouldn't call mine my beater. I don't beat on any watch, but I definitely give it a run for its money. And I would say that the black is better. The black is one that demands to be scratched up because it's going to look more vintage, while the blue is a bit too fresh looking. I feel that way at least. So Dominic says he's been on the list for a year now, but no call. He's just followed up a couple of times. Here and there they're starting to pop in the windows here. Maybe not on the bracelet, but on the strap certainly here in Hong Kong. Other one he's looking at is the Tudor Black Bay ceramic, the one that I own. Yeah, it's a simple watch. It's nice, but the ceramic, the problem, it's not going to scratch easy, and it's a diver, so it's hermetic. It's well prepared for dusty environments. However, with the bezel, not so much. You don't want dust to cram under the bezel. And also the ceramic, while not scratchable, is susceptible to a shattering if there's a big shock on it. Maybe not what I would want to take on a construction site again. And lastly, the Explorer 36. As I mentioned, Dominic has smaller wrists, and he likes classically proportioned watches. Explorer 36 is a perfect watch, and I think it would be great to add a Rolex to the collection. Of course, if you get the new one, you have all the modern upgrades compared to the old versions, and would be good. I think it can handle going on construction sites. Anyway, it doesn't have to be exposed. If you wear a shirt as well. From those, I think the Black Bay 58 Black or the Explorer would be my choice, because the Explorer is what you can just the Black Bay 58 as well. You can just keep on and forget about it all the time, anywhere. Those are two great watches to own. Okay, so that was number one. Number two, considering a square dress watch. He's getting married in about 2 years and considering purchasing matching Cartier tanks. He likes the new Mustangs, so he's thinking of getting them because they are so timeless and don't scream out, and the maintenance is easy. Is it? So I'm guessing maybe it's not a Cartier movement in them. I wouldn't get a Cartier with the ETA, by the way. The one I have, my Cartier Tank Americaine, it's white gold. Beautiful, no date, with the guilloche. It is really refined compared to the more affordable Cartier that you find. But I got it at less than the retail of steel Cartier at the shop. Dominic has also tried the Reverso in a classic medium, which he loves, but would rather get 2 tanks for the price of one Reverso. Cartier and GLC, they're very soft on the second-hand market, so I would get those used. Maybe not your wives, but yourself. Who cares? A couple of scratches. You're going to put more into them. So you thought about the American. That's the one I have. Could do matching for them, or get a Française for her. The 1931 black dial, but rarely see one for sale, and prices have gone up a bit on those, and wouldn't get it if I'm getting a black dialed watch in the above category. Oh, right. I'm reading from his email. If he gets the Black Bay black, well, the blue, the black, or the Explorer 36, or the Tudor Black Bay ceramic, it's going to be too much black. True. And number 3, well, we'll come back to that again, but for Cartier, for your lady, make her happy. You can buy it new at Cartier. get the experience for yourself. I would get it used, look around, take your time. You have 2 years to find it, so it's the kind of watch you really don't want to rush. It will come to you as well. Put some reminders, some alerts in Chrono 24. That's what I did for my Patex, for example, until the right price, the right deal comes up. And the GLC, same thing, pretty soft on the market. There's just no resale on those. People are gonna skin you. But I mean, you're buying them to keep them and have a short collection. Let's come back to the Square Watch ID. And number 3, an additional watch. Yeah, for the future, you have other priorities. Damn right, you're not married yet. Take it easy. Anything for watching the rotation would keep you satisfied. Well, we're never satisfied, you know. Down the line, you're thinking Patek annual, perpetual, yes. A nice complication piece from VC in a precious metal or a GLC. Yeah, you're saying something that I said before in the videos. Maybe the GLC will disappoint you if later on you want the PP or the VC, if you have those in mind. You know, my one of my colleagues just got Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Sectodial Geographic, you know, with the world time complication. It is gorgeous. It is twice the size of a Calatrava. It's much thicker, but it's got a great complication. It's a bit sportier than a dress watch, and I have to tell you that now is that if you know, dress watches, you don't get to wear them as much. It would be better to find something in between, like the GLC, for example, that Master Control. Those are great in betweens. They're a bit more sporty. You can wear them all the time, even on your construction site. Now, there's one watch that comes to mind because you're talking Cartier, you're talking square watches, you're talking a watch you can wear every day, but that can also be dressed up. And to me, you could put, and also has a water resistance. I think all the watches you're suggesting, you could put them all into one if you got the Cartier Santos in steel or even in two-tone if you want a bit of pizzazz. They have a great bracelet that can be easily removed, changed for a strap. It's got that, you know, integrated bracelet look, but it's not at all derivative, I think, of the famous, you know, AP Royal Oak or anything, because it is the original wristwatch. The Santos is the very first wristwatch, and so it looked like that from the early 20th century. That's what I love about it. And if I didn't have such a big collection, I could make that my one watch. I think they look great. I think they have 2 different sizes, so if you prefer something smaller and then the XL version, you can also find it, and it's probably going to be cheaper also, even if you get it on the second-hand market. I don't think you. And then for your wife, get a square Cartier, something very chic, very classy. The only problem, you know, your wife, you know, one day you're going to have kids, and there's going to be water splashing about, and she might obviously wash her hands, but also, you know, do the dishes and things like that. Don't get a Cartier too fragile one. Maybe for her as well, get something like a Santos, or why not a little. You don't have to get the same watch. Maybe get her the Pasha. I love the Pasha. Even for you, you could consider it. It's my latest obsession, is the Cartier Pasha. I think that looks incredible. Get that on either on a strap or on a metal bracelet to be more usable. And that could be something really different and very cool. I'm a big fan, but it's something that I think for many people you have to come to it slowly. It's not a type of watch that's as likable immediately as the Santos. But yeah, when I read your email, the first thing that came to mind, the one that comes to mind still now, is the Cartier Santos, because it would do everything you need. It's dressy enough. You can also put it on a strap. It's square. It's Cartier. And it's a everyday usable piece. Very beautiful. If you want to see some reviews, one that comes to mind is the one from Bruce Williams. I think he was very interested into that watch, and blue dial would be quite nice, or a black dial. I think that the blue dial is usually the one to get, and it would be nice and different from your Grand Seiko and the Rolex. They just definitely I would try to get the Santos second hand. But again, you have a very small collection. If you just want to treat yourself at the Cartier shop, get the whole experience along with the wife, why not? I think that Santos has been keeping a good value on the second-hand market because it's a watch that people love. It's got the look, that integrated bracelet look. It's got a cool shape. It's very usable. It's a steel watch. The two-tone looks great as well. That would be my choice. So do consider it. Of course, if you want the classics, Explorer, Tudor Black Bay 58 in black, you can never go wrong. Reverso is always nice, but they've become so dressy. That's why I went for the Reverso Grand Sport, to have something a bit more sporty, which is what you could consider as well. If you want a rectangular kind of watch, go back in time for a Reverso Grand Sport, and then you can take it also to the construction site. But maybe the mechanism is a bit more fragile. You don't want to subject it to too much dirt. Speedy, of course, speedy is always great. You prefer smaller watches, so definitely, as you say, First Omega in space is going to be good for you. I think the Speedy Pro might be a bit too much, a bit overwhelming for the wrist. Otherwise, the CK2998, never forget that one. That is gorgeous. I think the blue one, maybe the black one as well, has the full loomed bezel, which you don't find in many, or if any, other Speedmaster. So that is pretty cool. And in the future, yeah, of course, you have time to come to the Patek and the Vacheron stuff. So there you go. I hope I gave you an extra idea, extra thing to think about. There's no rush. You already have two cool watches, but for me, looking at what you seem to like, what you have, I would go Cartier Santos. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Give Dominic's collection a like, and I hope you guys have a very good weekend. It's Friday. It's dark as night already because we have a black rain in Hong Kong. If you've never seen the movie Black Rain with Michael Douglas, I recommend you to check it out. And the music is, the title track is from Iggy Pop, a great song to learn on the guitar. Bye bye guys.